Pepsi's past playing a big role in Fort Wayne's future. What happens next to its old bottling plant there and how it all fits in with the city's aggressive river redevelopment plan. Plus, WWE coming to DeCircle City, our exclusive interview with one of its top execs, and medical house calls making a comeback, how a Hoosier Paramedic startup is giving peace of mind to patients and families.
Are you ready?
It's all next on Inside Indiana Business.
From Indiana's business news leader, this is IBJ Media's Inside Indiana Business with Gary Dick, presented by Elevate Ventures, Indiana University, and LiUNA.
Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick. Indiana's second largest city continues to land first-class projects and investment that are really reshaping its downtown and attracting national attention. Once considered an example of a Rust Belt city in decline, Fort Wayne has seen dramatic change in its downtown. Started my career there many years ago. It's a much different place. Downtown investment over the past decade is topped $1 billion. And from a $30 million boutique hotel to restaurants, retail, and tens of $millions in housing, remaking the skyline and quality of life there. Just this week, news of a $30 million makeover of the historic Robert Goldstein Performing Arts Center downtown, a consortium led by philanthropists Chuck and Lisa Surak, the University of St. Francis and Fort Wayne Philharmonic coming together to create a world-class music hall. And historic investment is continuing as well along the riverfront. The latest project, just announced, will create the Tree Line District on the site of a longtime Pepsi warehouse along the St. Mary's River. Indianapolis-based Browning Real Estate Partners to develop apartments, retail, parking, and green space.
We want to continue the growth of having mixed-use facility downtown, attracting people downtown, giving a new kind of environment of activity. So we're looking at mixed-use housing. Roughly about 250 apartments is what we're looking to design. About 7,500 square foot of retail space. And that would also include dining.
The Tree Line District is part of nearly $250 million in projects that have been talked about for years and are now becoming reality.
So what we've done thus far is we have increased our riverfront by adding our Promenade Park, which is a huge, beautiful park for walking, swinging. We have a small open theater there where you can rent the space and have small concerts. We have a barge in the middle of the water where you can rent and have a little concert out in the middle of the river, and seating along the riverside there so that individuals can sit along the banks and watch a concert, if you would. We've also put canoes on the river and some party boats on the river so that activity actually happens. But it's not just fun activities, it's living as well. So we've contracted with several companies to come in and do some mixed use apartments and retail. And this project for our Tree Line District is expanding that, but moving along the northern portion of the river.
The investment is putting Fort Wayne in the national spotlight among an increasing number of cities embracing waterways as a way to enhance quality of life and attract talent.
Fort Wayne has been deemed one of the fastest growing Midwest cities. We've been deemed number 8 as the best place to live. We've been, so we're getting national accolades because of the work that we're doing in our downtown and specifically in our riverfront development and our cities or in our parks. So people want to come to Fort Wayne and be a part of the success.
Lots happening in Fort Wayne indeed. An additional note about Fort Wayne's new Tree Line District site, it's where the Shealy family, which had been pumping out sodas at this location for decades, joined forces with Pepsi to set up shop shortly after World War II. A lot of history there. The city of Fort Wayne bought the site in 2022. Well, Fort Wayne, one of several Indiana cities getting in on this.
And here comes a double. Count 'em
what landing pro wrestling's Triple Crown means to the bottom line for Indiana inside the WWE deal when we come back. Also, my popping numbers in for how much money Central Indiana netted by hosting the NBA All-Star Weekend in February. That number is a big one, $400 million, according to Temple University's Sports Industry Research Center. That's 26% more than had been projected. NBA All-Star Weekend resulted in more than $290 million in spending and nearly $113 million in TV value. Next up for Indy sports tourism, the ultimate in professional wrestling.
Look at us. There we go. Every woman for herself.
The WWE's Royal Rumble, one of pro wrestling's 3 crown jewels, making its way to Indiana, packing with it a huge bump to the state's bottom line. The WWE and Indiana Sports Corporation striking a deal to bring not only the Royal Rumble to Lucas Oil Stadium in Indy, but also its 2 other premier events, WrestleMania and SummerSlam. It is a deal that could generate as much as $350 million in local spending. Mary Rachel Redmond here now with an exclusive interview on how it all went down.
Well, Gary, get ready to rumble. I got an exclusive interview with Senior Vice President Chris Legentil, and he told me without a doubt there's no better place to host WWE than the Circle City.
And here comes the owner of Raw, the Nature Boy. There's the real John Cena.
It's produced some of the biggest names in showbiz.
Oh, look! Hollywood Hulk Hogan riding a motorcycle.
From Hulk Hogan
He's in the ring. Get him, Henry. Oh, no, stunner.
to Stone Cold Steve Austin, and of course, global megastar Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
WWE was the launching pad for folks like John Cena and The Rock. In recent years, as we're seeing people from outside of our business want to come in because they're so excited about what's going on at WWE. So whether that is Pat McAfee,
He's here. Pat McAfee is here.
or Logan Paul, it's a nice cross-section of folks from all different parts of sports, entertainment, music, coming to WWE to entertain fans, and I think that that's what you'll see at the Royal Rumble on February 1st.
So why did WWE choose Indy?
We've seen Indy do it all. NBA All-Star, Final Four, Super Bowl. So we knew no matter which event came to town, it was going to be great. So we said, why not do all 3?
Pro wrestling's Triple Crown.
Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and WrestleMania over time have gone from arena events to stadium events to multi-day stadium events.
It'll be a sold out, full house at Lucas Oil Stadium every single night when they host these events. So, you know, you're talking 60, 70,000 people attending these events each night that they come.
And talk about visibility on a global scale. WWE is broadcast in nearly 170 countries, and social media even bigger. WWE has more followers on TikTok than any U.S. sports league.
Getting spun like 22.
WWE is a massive brand, global brand. It brings global eyeballs to the city that's hosting it.
The WWE Universe brings energy like you've never seen. People of all ages, all colors, boys, girls, men, women, old, young. Everybody comes out to the party.
And the impact of WWE will be felt far beyond just the capital city. Fort Wayne and Evansville will also host live events.
Over the next several years, you're going to see Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, NXT, our minor leagues or our feeder brand come here. Also, we have live events that aren't even televised come to cities, Fort Wayne, Evansville, here in Indianapolis. We're going to be all over the place, all over the state of Indiana.
We're estimating the economic impact to be in excess of $300 million, and it'll continue to grow. Every year the economic impact gets bigger, these events get bigger, the social media impressions get bigger, the media exposure that it will be on Indianapolis will get bigger and greater every single year. So this is a win-win-win all the way around for Indianapolis, and we're super pumped that they trusted us with those 3 major events and decided to do this partnership.
Are you ready?
I think Indy is ready. Big economic impact here. As you just mentioned, it's not just Indianapolis, there's a statewide impact too.
That's right. Smaller cities, it could be outside of even Fort Wayne and Evansville, all across the state. They're also talking about a legacy project to really involve the community, because this is nearly a decade-long partnership, 8 years, WWE and the Indiana Sports Corp. It really is a huge, huge get for Indianapolis.
And WW continues to get bigger, just signed a new Netflix deal. All of that stands to be positive news for being here in Indianapolis.
That's right, in Indianapolis, the center of all of that, again, for the next 8 years.
All right, Mary Rachel, great job, thanks. Well, pro wrestling, not the only big event pumping money into Indiana. The numbers are in on how the eclipse in April boosted the state's bottom line. The Indiana Destination Development Corporation estimating the total economic impact of the eclipse, get this, more than $145 million. And coming up next, a Hoosier Health entrepreneur giving Indiana's elderly and their families peace of mind, and how it's helping save on unnecessary visits to the hospital.
Finding the right healthcare partner for your business isn't easy, but Hancock Wellbeing at Work can help. We're a different kind of program that combines employer clinics with a wellness strategy. And in a lot of cases, we can deliver greater health benefits at a lower cost. See why well-being for your employees is well-being for your business at HancockWellbeingAtWork.org.
Well, here's a great way to get your team on the same page. Get up to 20% off subscriptions for your entire team with a group subscription. Well, a lifelong paramedic in Zionsville is bringing back the old-fashioned house call with a modern spin. His startup works in an emerging area of healthcare called community paramedicine. Business of Health reporter Kylie Valletta here now with more on this interesting story.
That's right, Gary. Thank you. Shane Hardwick has been a community paramedic for nearly a decade. Rather than the traditional role of responding to emergency 911 calls, a community paramedic goes to patients' homes on a regular basis for health checkups. Seeing what a difference it made in patients' lives inspired him to start his own company called Medic Home Care.
So blessed to have this job and to kind of help in such a different way. When you're seeing a 63% reduction in ER visits out of your patient population, that's a win. That's a big win.
Hardwick says the recent study shows the success of Medic Home Care. The company sends the same paramedic to a patient's home once a week for medical checkups.
We're the eyes and ears of the doctor in the patient's home. We can get a fresh set of vital signs, blood sugar, A1C, any number of labs that we can draw off, 12-lead EKG.
Many families are using the service in central Indiana to help their elderly loved ones stay independent.
It's important to us that she stays home, that she doesn't have to go into placement. And this program is a very vital part of that. It's keeping her home. And I'm grateful for that.
Medic Home Care says focusing on prevention helps their patients avoid unnecessary trips to the ER and costly hospital stays.
And we're identifying these problems ahead of time by lab draws and vital signs and identifying slip, trip, and fall hazards within the house. But we're there every week, and we're managing and we're keeping an eye and doing small course corrections now so that it doesn't wind up being a big health crisis later.
The weekly visits also help build a relationship with the patient.
They know us, they know how we look and how we sound, and that's a very relaxed. For me, it's relaxing. For me, to know that everything's okay is helpful.
Medic Home Care says the paramedic is like an extension of the family, helping with light household duties such as taking out the trash, getting the mail, and keeping tabs on the patient's overall well-being.
I've had patients tell me we give them peace of mind. So, anytime you can reduce people's anxieties, that's actually beneficial to their health as well.
Paramedics are in the home. They have a 360-degree view of what is going on with that patient. I see 5 unfilled scripts on your coffee table. How can we help you get those filled?
In addition to seniors, treating underserved communities such as those on Medicaid is another focus. Hardwick says the pilot study showed major benefit to payers.
From a business standpoint, there was a 5-fold return on investment for the payer that contracted us to go out and manage their patient population. I know this works. I've seen it work for almost a decade in my full-time job, and I can't wait to see it expand. And I want to see what happens next.
And the weekly home visit plans start at $475 per month. The company currently focuses on central Indiana, but his hope is to put a paramedic in all 92 counties.
Really interesting story, entrepreneurial story. You know, sounds like home nursing, but it's not?
Right. He says it's completely different than home nursing. Home nursing is typically set up after you've been in the hospital. It's to kind of help you rehabilitate at home, get you back to normal. They're wanting to get in front of you going to the hospital. So they're very focused on preventative. They really get to know the patient, and they're taking their vitals. So if something is off, they'll pick up on it, hopefully before that hospital stay.
Okay, telehealth, that's a big deal. Now, older Americans sometimes challenged by that. I'm challenged by that.
I was just going to say, we're all challenged by that,
exactly.
right?
Do they get into that too?
Yes. So every plan they offer also helps a patient execute the telemedicine. Like you said, a lot of their patients are older, so sometimes they need a little extra help. Every single one of their plans includes helping kind of coordinate that telehealth visit, and the added bonuses, the paramedic is there so they can give the doctor more insight by having those vitals and be able to provide those vitals live while they're talking to the doctor.
All right, great story. Thanks, Kylie.
Yep.
Time now for our Eye on Education, brought to you by PNC Bank.
Well, this week we begin our Eye on Education report with research being done at Indiana University offering hope for people who are blind. IU receiving $2.6 million to study the genetic causes of blindness. The research will center on retinitis pigmentosa, which is a condition that occurs when people who inherit mutated genes from their parents. IU researchers will also study methods that could lead to potential treatments. In Evansville, the University of Southern Indiana has received its largest federal grant ever to continue its geriatrics workforce enhancement program. That program focuses on improving health outcomes for older adults. Deaconess Health, the Alzheimer's Association, and other organizations partnering with USI on an initiative that serves Southwest Indiana. And next, learn why Columbus-based Cummins is cutting jobs, plus other business news making headlines around Indiana.
Here's what's making news around Indiana, brought to you by the Indiana Association of Realtors, Indiana's 21,000 realtors, the neighbors you know, the experts you can count on.
Well, as we go around Indiana this week, a new study showing Southwest Indiana scoring big in the health and life sciences sector. It is the region's fastest growing sector, and the study from the Evansville Regional Economic Partnership found it contributed nearly $1 billion to the economy there over a 9-year period. A large part of that comes from the Stone Family Center for Health and Life Sciences, the regional health center that opened in downtown Evansville in 2018. Around 500 graduate level medical and health science students are being educated at the center. Well, downsizing in the pipeline at Cummins in Columbus. Cummins planning to eliminate jobs and streamline operations. Though a spokesperson tells the IBJ's Susan Orr she could not share specifics on numbers. A spokesperson also says the reductions are related to challenges with its Destination Zero effort, an ambitious effort to achieve zero emissions by 2015. Heidelberg Materials North America has completed a $7 million conversion of its cement plant in Clark County. It is now producing more sustainable slag cement and serves as a distribution hub for other specialty products. The plant in the community of Speed, just north of Sellersburg, was built back in 1870. Cement from the plant was recently used in the massive concrete pour for the 37-story Signia by Hilton Hotel in downtown Indianapolis. A longtime Northwest Indiana company that provides devices like these for businesses to make fountain syrup and concentrated juices, moving ahead with a $7 million expansion plan. Hammond-based Swanel Beverage striking a deal with the city for a 10-year tax abatement to grow its footprint. The company has been in business in Hammond for 75 years. Indiana's rich Amish culture getting some national recognition. Shipshewana in northern Indiana named Destination of the Year by the Midwest Travel Network. More than 15,000 Amish live in this LaGrange County region, making it the third largest Amish population in the United States. And Hamilton County getting a new place to relax with nature. The city of Fishers planning to build a 120-acre park along the White River near Allisonville Road and 96th Street. It will feature riverfront access, a kayak launch, and connectivity to Fishers Heritage Park. Fishers White River Park expected to open next summer. Well, as we really head into the 4th of July week, a little bit of a break for those of you planning to flip burgers and buy all of the fixings to celebrate. The Indiana Farm Bureau says Hoosiers will pay a little less to cook out this year, about 2% less. Average cost to host a July 4th cookout for 10 people, a little more than $68. That includes ground beef, cheese, buns, pork chops, chicken, and other traditional sides. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Inside Indiana Business. We leave you this week with a look ahead to a milestone moment coming this week in Indiana higher education. IUPUI officially moving to 2 separate universities, IU Indianapolis and Purdue University in Indianapolis. Presidents Mung Chang from Purdue and IU's Pam Whitten will join us on next week's show for an in-depth look at what it all means. Thanks for joining us this week. I'm Gary Dick. Go out and make it a successful week. Thank you for listening to the Inside Indiana Business Television podcast. Remember, you can get the latest business news from every corner of the state at InsideIndianaBusiness.com. I'm Gary Dick. Go out and make it a successful week.